Howdy ho, everybody. Welcome to the NASCAR show. This is race 15 from the track formerly known as the Gateway Speedway. Welcome to unofficial name of the show, Left Turn Mania. Official name, Dash for the Cash. So
I thought it was Draft for Cash.
The Draft for Cash?
I don't know.
That's how great the official name is. We don't even know what it is.
I should go to meetings more. I mean, it occurred to me as I was playing the 30-second roundup because, as you guys know who watches live, we play the 30-second call to action. Lets everybody know that we're getting ready to go live. And as we're taping this, I realized that there's absolutely no reason for me to be playing that whatsoever. So, yeah. Hey, it's good to be here. The master in charge of all this chaos is yours truly. I'm Scott Steen. I'm the lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. I'm joined by a couple of my fellow winners and whiners guys. It's betting royalty to my immediate right on your radio dial. It is Christopher King. Chris, what's up, buddy?
I was going to say I was classy Freddie Blassie and call everybody pencil neck geeks, but you took it away from me by throwing out my name to begin with. So way to go. I'm
that way. And in the bottom right corner, getting ready to serve for the game in our hot shot game of Foursquare, he's the handicapper formerly known as the Kid until we found out the Earl brothers were 22. And now he's just a grinder and middle-aged grinder like the rest of us. It's Scott Reichel. What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. Just looking forward to going through a pretty unique NASCAR race. I mean, I'm sure we're going to break down the interesting circumstances surrounding it, but should be fun. Hopefully, it's an entertaining race.
Now, are you serving for the match as well as what's his name? Zverev? Yeah, Zverev? The guy that Nadal beat today. How do you pronounce it?
Zverev?
Yeah. Are you going to serve about as well as he does with his second serve?
Well, unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to serve at all for the next couple months because he completely
Reel him out of there.
He kind of destroyed his Achilles, so he's probably out for a while.
Tough
break.
Very tough break. Literally a tough break.
And last, and I mean certainly not least, the guy that classes up the joint, the one with probably has more NASCAR knowledge than all of us put together. You know him, you love him. He's become an instant classic, as they say. He's part of the show. It's Mr. Rye Cape. What's up, Rye?
Not much. Thanks for having me. See what kind of action we're going to have after that Coca-Cola 600. It's a tough act to follow.
It was a long race. That was a absolutely long race.
It felt like 700.
It really did. Hey, Rye, because I always forget at the end to tell everybody where they can find you and what you got going on.
I'm at Rye Cape on everything. I'm mostly on Twitter, a little bit of Facebook. I'm on the Insiders Room. I give out plays on Discord as well.
There you go. Look him up.
Yeah, I saw you on the Insiders Room last week. Good stuff.
That's good. That's a good show. Those guys take a deep dive into NASCAR each and every week. So make sure you check that out before you make any bets, along with our show as well. Last week's results, Rye. You were the only one of us not profitable, man, as you kind of had some bad breaks go against you. Scott and I each made $35. That's
all
right.
Day.
35.
Let's go.
A third of a unit. We bet in the $100 units, of course. So we made 0.3.
Back the truck up.
And Chris, speaking of backing the truck up, he led the pack, making $275. So as far as the overall standings go, Rye is currently losing a $135 a week. Again, he's only been here 2 weeks, so you know that's going to change. Scott is, I am winning $130 per week. That's a 1.3 units. Scott's winning 2.5 units. Chris still yet to see the black, but maybe this will be the week, buddy.
That was the lousy odds.
He's down about 1.2 units per week. So let's see.
That's because when you guys win, there's some 8 zillion to 1 shot. And when I win, it's Chase Elliott at Dover.
Listen, man, we don't make the rules. We just play the game.
I actually literally made the rules. But.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to say that. I was trying to set it up, but
I was going to point it out anyway.
My point. Okay.
All right, very good. Tight. The point standings are a little tighter, so we'll probably see that tighten up even more after this week. Rye, we're racing at the track formerly known as the Gateway, right outside of St. Louis. This will be the first time the Cup Series has been there, but it's no stranger to NASCAR as the trucks ran there for a good number of years, as did the Xfinity Series. So what about this track? What's it like? What makes it unique? And what are we going to see?
Well, it is a 1.25 mile egg-shaped track. So turns 1 and 2, they kind of look like New Hampshire, and on the other side, turns 3 and 4 looks like Phoenix. So we're gonna have the 2 straightaways, and I look at it as like a flat Darlington,
right?
With better asphalt.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it's a very flat track. Is it how wide is it? Have you got room to maneuver and bump and grind?
Yeah, it turns 3 and 4. You should have plenty of room. I think we'll see a lot of slingshotting.
Okay, can we see 3 wide?
Oh yeah.
All right, very good.
I can say it's not a ton of fun to play on NASCAR heat when you race around that track because, unless you're watching my 19-year-old kid try to drive backwards and knock people into the crowd.
Oh, good times. Good times indeed. A lot of those guys use the NASCAR game as a, I know they have more complicated simulators at the office, but I know a lot of those guys spend a lot of time playing the NASCAR video game at home.
I've tried it, and some of the tracks that I can do well at, some of them they're just horrible.
Yeah,
I had one of those games back in the day. I forgot which one. It might have been What was it? Was there a Thunder Heat one?
Something.
Yeah,
probably.
I think I had the second one.
I think they're all just called NASCAR Heat. Insert.
I'm saying I used to have one on the PlayStation 1 or 2. I think it was the 1.
Yep. I played one with my kid when he was in high school. Right, you video game guy. You do a little simulate racing games.
I used to be not too much anymore. I do like Forza Horizon now on the Xbox.
Yeah, Forza's good.
All right, very good. All right, well, guys, we recapped last week. Talked a little bit about the track. Let's get rolling. A quick reminder: the point system. It's basically reverse of where you finish. So if you have 36 drivers, first place will get you 36 points, 36th place will get you 1 point, and so on and so forth. There's a little bonus multiplier, extra points for first through fifth, and or bonus points, and then there's a multiplier depending on where your guy places, depending on where you picked him, whether it's a top pick, a mid-range pick, or a long shot, and that's exactly what we do. Each of us will do 3 picks plus a matchup. We'll take a favorite. We usually try to group them in around 8 in each group. It'll change. The odds will change from week to week. Try to keep around 8, 7 in each group, and that's exactly what we have here. First group, we have 8 possibilities. We have 7 choices for a mid-range pick, and everybody else in the field is wide open for the long shot pick. So with that being said, last week's winner was the one and only, you know him, you love him. It's Chris King. Chris, you have the opportunity to choose who will go first. We do keep it in the same order as we always do. Otherwise, chaos. But you have the choice.
Since I know who you're picking, I'll let you go first. That way, if Reichel copies you can say that he jumped on the bandwagon.
I think I'm going solo here, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I am.
Okay. Well, I'll kick it off then. I'm going to take one of those guys that are down towards the end of the pack as far as the top level choices. And I'm going to take Ross Chastain.
I got him.
See, told you.
Damn
Ross,
it.
What did I tell you before our show earlier?
Right. Having a surprisingly good season. He's been very good to Scott Reichel, and he's been good at this track, picking up a win later than anybody else in the field, by the way, winning the truck race there in 2019. Give me that flat track experience on Ross Chastain at plus 1,000.
Well, he said he's having a pretty good year. He's number 1 in the NASCAR standings. He's kind of having the best year of anybody right now.
Well, that doesn't mean jack squat.
Just saying as of right now. So.
All right. So, Scott, you have Chastain as well?
Yep. I couldn't really resist. I saw him at 10-1 on FanDuel. He's led at least 1 lap in 5 of the last 6 races. Even the last race, he was in second in overtime, and then he crashed and ended up, I believe, in 15th.
Right.
But he seems to always find his way into the top 5 or top 10 at some point during the race. And since this is a new track, or at least it's a track that a lot of people don't have much experience with, I'll go with the guy who seems to always find himself towards the front no matter what track they're actually on.
Solid. Chris, what do you got?
Sadly, I have to go with Kyle Busch. He raced here 3 times in the Xfinity Series, finished 5th, 8th, and then won in 2009. Plus, he's been around the truck series because I believe it was at Bell or something that drove under his wing on the truck series before and Bell's won here. So I'm going to lean towards Busch and watch him finish 35th because that's what happens whenever I pick him.
I think this thing is
Tire or engine failure? I'll let you pick.
I'm just gonna go with a complete crash where Keselowski or somebody will kill him.
Okay, fair enough.
I think the thing that separates you from most handicappers, Chris, is your extreme optimism. Now you always believe you have a shot and you're going to cash that ticket no matter what. What's the odds on Kyle Busch?
He's at plus 900 on DraftKings.
All right, very good. Rye, that brings it back to you, my friend. Who you got here?
I am going with Ryan Blaney. Two of the tracks that I looked to handicap for this race for Phoenix and Richmond. Blaney led the most laps at each, 143 at Phoenix, 128 at Richmond. He had 2 top 10s. He did well at the Texas race, and I'm hoping he needs to win again in the playoffs probably. So,
all right,
I think this should be a good track for him.
All right, and what do you got the odds for him at?
He was plus 1,000 pretty much everywhere.
All right, very good. Look at Rye actually handicapping on races this year at tracks that are comparable, as opposed to the three of us who wanted to see who won a truck race in 1949. So that's an interesting strategy there, Rye, using current data with current drivers and cars. I don't know how that's going to work.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Obviously, he's the new guy. All right, very good. So Rye's got Blaney. Scott and I have Chastain. And Christopher King has Kyle Busch. All right. So our mid-range picks, these are the guys that we'd be delighted if they won, but we expect them to finish in the top 5, usually getting somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 1 or excuse me, 200 plus 200 or better. And I went first last time. So Mr. Reichel, that means you are up to bat.
So Chris mentioned this guy before, and I'm going to mention him now. It's going to be Christopher Bell at around 14 to 1 on Caesars. He won a truck race here back in 2016. And if you also look at the recent results, he's been really, really good. And I feel like people are not talking about him enough. He's finished top 6 in each of the last 4 races. I'm excluding the All-Star race. I'm not sure if you want to count that or not. If you do, then it's 4 of the last 5. But he's been very solid. We know that he was under the wing of Kyle Busch in the Truck Series, and he ended up winning here. And I think it might pay dividends. So I'll take him at 14 to 1. And for him, top 5, I saw plus 170 on BetMGM.
All right, very good. Looks like the world's figuring out Christopher Bell just a little bit there. Chris, who you got?
I was contemplating Bell, but I don't think you're going to have to change my spot or my name on this one.
You're taking Harvick again. Just do it.
I'm going back to Harvick.
You always do. Yeah, I know. It's the 5th straight week.
He's won here twice in the Xfinity Series. And going to Rye's point about Phoenix and Richmond, he was 6th at Phoenix. He was 2nd at Richmond. He's had a lot of success lately. Last 4 top 10s in his last 5, coming off a 3rd place finish at Charlotte. He was 4th at Darlington. Maybe he's finally figured out the new car. He's trending in the right direction. He gave me the win last week over the rest of you guys because he scored more points than I think everybody else combined.
I had Stenhouse. Watch yourself.
Stenhouse didn't get any bonus points.
No, he finished top 10, though.
He finished top 10 because there was only like 12 cars left.
No. Top 10. Come on. Still counts.
Almost like Michael McDowell again. You should have just taken him.
I can only imagine the plus price last week for McDowell.
You have plus 200 on the top 5?
That is correct.
I'm not going to tell you how I know that.
Because you picked him.
Rye, who you got?
I got Harvick as well.
This
I actually got better
show.
Price. But, yeah.
A better price? Even better. I'll take it.
Yeah, plus 325 for top 5 on Barstool.
Barstool, it seems like, has like the most user-friendly NASCAR odds of any book I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can see. I imagine you look at that. Kyle Larson's probably like plus 250.
They're probably front load everybody. It's a good point.
Right. All right. I'm changing us all to 325. Is anything you want to add, Ryan? Any extra reasons that Chris didn't touch on?
This is just his kind of track. These are the tracks he's good at. He used to be the king of Phoenix, and just like Chris said, I think that he's learning how to drive this car. So I expect him to do well here.
All right. Very good. I've had 2 pretty sharp guys in front of me go and take Harvick. That's who I've got as well. I like the plus 325. Rye, did you have any better price to win than 1,600?
Yeah, 2,200.
That's just
bring it up and sit him down.
Okay. I know that Barstool's not legal in my state, but I might have to try to find somebody who has it because a lot of those prices are
Is it
kind
legal
of
in New
absurd.
Jersey? You can just walk across the bridge.
Yeah,
I
do it again. I only do that for free bets. You know the rules.
Walk across the bridge. What is this, the day after?
Yes, it is.
Walk across the bridge. All right. So now we'll move to our long shots. These are the guys that we would do handsprings if they won the race, but we would be happy as heck if they finished in the top 10. And it is going to be Mr. King, betting royalty, if you will, is going to kick us off.
I'll let Rye go first.
Okay. All
That
right.
works.
Alan,
So, you guys went with Chastain. I took another Trackhouse guy. I like Daniel Suarez. I found him at plus 4,000 to win on Fox. Top 10 plus 140 on FanDuel. I just think he's ready. He's ready to take the next step this season. He sees Ross Chastain doing well, and he needs to pick it up. Every time he has a good race, he does have bad luck. But he did finish 9th at Phoenix, and he does well at new tracks. And we're at the Worldwide Technology, and he's driving for Mr. Worldwide. So that's a
nice. Very good. All right. You got and what did you say he was to make the top 10?
plus 140.
All right. Very good. That is exactly who I have as well. He's 18th in points this season. He has 4 top 10s. Like you said, he's been running pretty well as far as those guys that are outside the top of the pack. I think he's due. Certainly, a top 10 was in reach, but man, I wouldn't even be hesitant about putting a little top 5 sprinkle on Suarez. I think he's a guy. When all things being equal, he's a race car driver, and just like Rye said, he's a guy that does well at new tracks. As everybody else is trying to figure it out, he seems to be consistently ahead of the curve. I'll take Daniel Suarez at a nice price there. Reichel, what do you got?
So for this one, I'm going to go with the guy who's been racing pretty well recently. It's going to be Austin Dillon at around 60 to 1 on DraftKings. He's finished top 3 in 3 of the last 8 races, including the All-Star race, but whatever. He finished 3rd in Martinsville, 9th in Darlington, so he's been okay on some of these shorter tracks. And the main reason why I'm taking him is because of the fact that his top 10 price is insanely mispriced on FanDuel. He's plus 135 on BetMGM to finish top 10. He's plus 240 on FanDuel. So all day, every day, give me the plus 240.
Rye's about to tell you that DraftKings has it at plus 320. So
No, he was actually on my fade list, but I might take him now. If I
Plus 240 is
get
just too
that
good of a
MGM
deal
price.
for me to pass on.
He's not very good at shifting. Round turn 1, you're going to have to double shift.
I'm just hoping that Keselowski takes out half the half the field and he just survives. So we'll see.
Well, Chris, you didn't make me change last week's pick on the last level. Am I going to change this one, or are you taking Keselowski again?
I'm actually going to take Keselowski again. I was thinking about Austin Dillon, but after Reichel took him, I stick with my mentality of trying to take different guys than what everybody else takes.
I almost took Bubba Wallace, but I decided not to.
I looked at him too, and then I looked at how bad his numbers were.
Yeah, that's why I decided to pass. But
I said no, I'm going to punt.
What did we say? What did we say? Brad K was 6,000 or 66?
He's at 6,000 on DraftKings.
Okay.
Let me see what I could find.
And what do you got in for top 10, boys?
I don't know. Do you actually see top 10 on DraftKings? Because I'm not seeing it.
No, I thought I was insane, Chris. I didn't see it either.
I see plus 180 on BetMGM.
Okay. Probably 180 is the number to beat. You beat it?
Yeah, please tell me he's like plus 7,000 at Barstool.
I see 66 to 1 on BetMGM, by the way.
Got a 66, okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good. 66 to 1 and plus 180 unless we hear differently. So, all right, very good. That brings us to our matchups. Rye, you are up, my friend. Who's matching up well at this racetrack?
But I found plus 290, by the way, for Keselowski on FanDuel for top 10.
Plus 290?
Yeah, I found plus 290. Seems like FanDuel's really, falling asleep on these top 10 markets.
Seems like a lot of these guys are using baseball handicappers too.
That's 472.
Yeah.
FanDuel is also the only book that leaves their lines up while practice and qualifying is happening.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
That would have come in handy earlier in the year when we were wondering why the hell the lines all disappeared.
Yeah, I know practice is going to determine a lot, or at least give people kind of a window into. And I saw some stats last week about the guys that were actually running good times in practice that tended to carry over with the new cars. Right? Have you seen that?
Yeah, lap averages usually correlate. Practice lap averages usually correlate to the race. I look for lines that I think are going to change to the negative, like a Christopher Bell. I think he's going to have worse lines, so I'll take him early after qualifying. That you just lose the best price.
Yeah. Do you think the setup of the practice car more resembles the setup of the actual race than the qualifying does?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Practice is where you want to make sure that your car is set up for your driver.
That's a great tip. And, we goof around a lot on this show and have a lot of fun, but every once in a while we throw out a nugget that's very valuable information for you folks at home. And I think that's a piece of it right there. If you're a novice NASCAR bettor, as I think three of us are, then always keep an eye on the practice times versus the qualifying times. Because we talked about this a lot, right? Some of those guys, especially at the big races, they set up just to qualify well because that's going to be their claim to fame. They know they have no real shot to win the race. So if they can get some points for qualifying well and things like that, I think that a lot of times they go in that direction.
A lot of certain teams always qualify well, like Kendrick.
Right. Make it a priority more than other teams. It almost like it's not a direct correlation, but it's almost like how some NFL coaches treat preseason versus
right.
Harbaugh and Andy Reid, for example, two very different philosophies on preseason. So, Rye, a lot of fun matchups this weekend. Who you got?
So I took Briscoe over Reddick. I found a plus 110 on DraftKings. Big thing was Briscoe won Phoenix. But then I start looking into it, and I see that at Phoenix and Richmond this season, Briscoe had the better average finish, the better driving rating. He led more laps, and he had more fast laps than Reddick. And then during qualifying, Briscoe has been better at the same tracks. He started 6th and 4th compared to 12th and 6th for Reddick. So I also think this price is going to change after practice and qualifying too.
Beating that closing line value. Very good. I'm going to go back to a driver that Reichel talked about for his mid pick, and that's Christopher Bell. I'm going to take Christopher Bell over Alex Bowman at minus 135. Scott touched on a lot of the reasons. This is a kid that's really coming into his own. Only 3 drivers in the series have more top 10s than Christopher Bell. I think top 10 will be good enough to win this matchup. So I've got Bell over Bowman minus 135.
He's at minus 120 on DraftKings.
No, sure he is. All right. I got it. All right.
Yeah, just so you can save 15 cents.
I'll take it. Every little bit, man. Every little bit. This is the difference between profitable and breaking even sometimes, man. All right. You've heard my terrific pick. It's going to be Senor Reichel.
So for this one, I'm going to go head-to-head against Rye. I'm going with Chastain over Blaney at minus 110 on Fox Bet. Blaney, I'm aware, has had some success on similar tracks, but it seems like he always fades in the middle of stage 3, and I really am just not sure if he's going to be able to keep it together for the entirety of the race. Him and his pit crew have had issues with the car pretty much all the time, but Blaney has finished 11th or worse in each of the last 5 races, excluding the All-Star race, which he won. And Chastain, of course, has been a steady member of the top 10 in most of these races. I don't mind maybe taking a play on Blaney in stage 1, maybe stage 2, but it seems like his car is always fading down the stretch. I don't really trust him in that capacity, and as long as Chastain keeps his car relatively clean, I think he should finish top 10, top 5, and that should be good enough to win. So I'll take minus 110.
Okay, thank you. All right, Chris, bring it on home for the week, buddy.
I'm actually going to go with Chastain as well, but I'm going in a different matchup. I'm going to take Chastain over Chase Elliott at minus 110. Like Ryan was talking about earlier about Phoenix and Richmond and everything. Chastain ran well both those tracks. He finished 2nd, and well, he struggled a bit at Richmond. He was 19th, but Elliott.
We just want to talk about Richmond, We just want to talk about it.
Yeah, and Elliott, he was only 14th at Richmond. He finished 11th in Phoenix. His one win was at Dover, of course. But Elliott got caught up in some traffic early last week, screwed over you guys, which was fine by me. But I like the way Chastain's raced. It's the first time I've picked him in doing anything all season, so hopefully he'll continue his decent run. I think he should run fairly well here because, like Scott said, he's had success on this track, granted in a different vehicle, but at least it gives him a little bit of experience that some of these guys don't have.
Okay. Very solid. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Let's recap here real quick. Of course, I want to remind you guys before we finish up here, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know the drill. Smash that thumb. Hit the subscribe button for the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel and the Max Wagers Network YouTube channel. Check out all the great content over there at Max Wagers Network Monday through Friday, noon through 5 o'clock. It's a little something for everybody. As far as this race goes, I've got Ross Chastain at plus 1,000. And Rye has Blaney at plus 1,000. Rachel has Chastain at plus 1,000. And Chris is going a little bit different. He's got Kyle Busch. Drive anything, anywhere. Mr. Busch.
Into a tree.
Plus 900 for the mid-range picks. Rye and I both have Kevin Harvick at plus 2,200. Plus 325 for top 5 finish. Christopher Bell is who Mr. Reichel has chosen at plus 1,400. Plus 170 for T5. And Kevin Harvick is also going to be backed by a Chris King. You know the odds, 22 and 325. Reichel, you're odd man out. Tell us why Christopher Bell is going to crash in the first 3 laps.
Well, based on what we've seen with the history of this show, my guy's more likely to do better than your guy because when we share drivers, it usually doesn't go too well.
You're right. So I'm gonna share drivers on my long shot with somebody who actually trusts, and that's going to be Rye because him and I both have Daniel Suarez plus 4,000 plus 140 for a top 10 finish. Rachel's going with Austin Dillon plus 6,000. He's trying to put this competition away early, cash that ticket at plus 240 for top 10. And Chris trying to get back on the positive side of the ledger, and this would go a long way towards doing that if Mr. Kozlowski could win the race at plus 6,600.
I'll also take the over on the number of cars that Keselowski's going to wipe out during this race. It's probably set at like 3.
All right, and plus 290 for the top 10 there. Matchups, Rye's got Briscoe over Reddick, 110. I've got Bell over Bowman, 120. Chastain over Blaney is what Reichel has at 110. And Chris also backing Chastain only over Elliott at 110. All those prices are minus. So, going to do it for the show. Any final thoughts, boys?
Yeah, I do. I have Chastain as top Chevy, and I also have Bell as top Toyota.
I feel better about myself. Hopefully it works out.
All right. Very good.
I think Bell's due for progression.
I just want him to win. He seems like he's on the cusp, but he just can't get over that final hurdle.
Yep, so I've backed him so many weeks, and he's given me hope that we're going to cash a big ticket, and he just can't quite.
Oh wait, no resin on the track.
No resin on the track.
No resin.
All right.
I prefer.
No, we go back. Oh God, we go back to our road course next week.
Yeah.
What's next week?
Sonoma.
Going back to California. Beautiful. All right. Well, guys.
But then there's an off week. Look at that.
Wait, they have an off week like 3 weeks after the All-Star race?
Yeah. Yeah, there's Thursday weekend. There's no race.
Whatever.
I thought they usually race at Michigan on Father's Day.
No, it says Sonoma and then Nashville on the 26th.
Wow, that's weird. I hate that Michigan track. That's just such a boring track.
Yeah, looks like they moved Michigan to August.
Good.
Yeah, right behind boring.
I'll remember to take Truex in Michigan because he tends to do well on boring tracks.
Nashville, another first-time track, right? They run at Nashville?
They did it last year.
They run last year? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we'll be looking forward to that.
Larson won, so nobody cares.
Yeah, this is kind of the stretch, boys, where you got one brand new track, one fairly new track, and a road race, and an off week. So enjoy the next month, kids.
Yeah, because
they'll enjoy it if we make money.
Well, fair enough. That's absolutely right. Hey, I want to thank everybody.
Don't forget, Scott, there's also another road race after that because you got the Road America course.
In New York.
No, Elkhart Lake.
What? Elkhart Lake, Indiana?
Wisconsin.
Oh, my God.
They ran there last year. It was the first time since 1956.
I forgot about that. I absolutely forgot about that.
Yeah, that's 4th of July weekend. Well,
they still run Watkins Glen?
Yeah, that's late August.
Okay. All right.
Right before
there
they
you
go back to Daytona.
Man, you go from Watkins Glen to Daytona. There's
And then the Darlington.
There's a transition right there. All right, guys, that's it for the show for this week. I appreciate everybody stopping by. I wanted to thank Chris King, Scott Reichel, Rye Cape. You can find us all at our Twitter handles there, and Betting Royalty, Reichel Radio, at Rye Cape, and at Steamroller. Appreciate it as always. You guys, wish you nothing but the best of luck. Have a great weekend before the race. Hope you're just counting your money and then top it off with a nice profit from the I forgot to plug the name of the race. Enjoy Illinois 300. You know what I enjoy about Illinois?
Leaving?
Getting the hell out of it. Yeah, I'm either further along my way to the East Coast or I'm headed back home. So, but enjoy Illinois for this race. You guys have a great week. Thanks for stopping by. Check us out as we do this every single week. It should be up late Friday night, early Saturday morning. All right. So take care, and we'll see you next time for a little bit of NASCAR.
You might as well use that for the Call the Cops segment.